This is the end result of this tutorial. I'll show you step by step how to make the vertex lights work with the Voxel plugin. But why wouldn't you just use the landscape that comes with the engine? Well, unfortunately, the landscape doesn't support vertex interpolator or custom primitive data, two features that are essential for vertex lights to work. You can get the Voxel plugin from the marketplace. There are two editions, free and pro. I'll be using the free version for this tutorial, but it should work exactly the same for the pro version. The link is below the video. Once downloaded, we need to enable it. Click Edit, Plugins, search for the Voxel plugin and enable it. I'm also going to enable Legacy UI. This step is optional. You can use the Modes button on the toolbar to access the Voxel menu. Since I'm using the PSXFX demo level, I will disable some of the effects so it's easier for you to see what's going on. Enter the Voxel mode and click Add World. You can use your existing Voxel world if you already have one. I'm going to assign the grass material to my world. Now we need to create a Voxel procedural mesh blueprint. With the Voxel world selected, search for procedural mesh in the details pane and assign our custom blueprint. Override event initialize chunk. Transform the chunk bounds. This node requires a reference to the Voxel world, so let's grab it on begin play. Now we need the center of the chunk bounds. This will be the position for the box overlap actors function. And the size of the bounds. I will also add the voxel size to the end result to get rid of the gaps between chunk bounds. Set the object type to world dynamic, because that's what the overlap component is set to by default in the static vertex light blueprint. Set the filter to static vertex light. Loop through all the actors and call handle begin overlap function. But we need to make this function public before we can access it, so open the static vertex light blueprint and find handle begin overlap function. Make it public. Originally it was meant to be only used by the light blueprint itself, that's why it's set to private. Now we can call this function. I will place a few lights for testing. By the way, this system won't work properly in the editor because the chunk initialize events only fire at runtime. Looks like it's working properly. Disable dither chunks to get rid of these artifacts. Create a player controller blueprint or use your existing controller. Make sure you're actually using this controller when you play. Create a player camera manager, or again you can use your existing blueprint. Assign it to your player controller. Switch over to the player camera manager and add Voxel Invoker component. And increase the LOD range. I'll set it to 5000. This is the distance at which the LOD will be set to 0. As I fly closer, the lights turn on, but I only want this to happen for LOD 0, because higher LODs can cause issues if more than 5 lights overlap the procedural mesh component. As a bonus, you can add this code to the lighting material function. This will make the lights fade in and out smoothly. This is the max distance of the light. I suggest controlling this via material parameter collection. Create a scalar parameter called light max view distance or something. This is the distance over which the lights will fade in and out. Higher values will create a smoother transition. If you made it this far and have no idea what the hell PSXFX is, then watch this video.